Hello, science student. Okay, what you missed today in science class. This was the challenge. It was kind of like a building challenge here. We basically gave the class these basic materials, some wire, this little funny looking thing here, which is, just to be clear, is a spinny sort of device with some wire on it. And we've got these connectors that seem to sort of attach to this thing that spins around along with the wire, and it comes up through here and all that kind of stuff. So I'm being really vague on purpose here, but this is, we were using this device. We also gave you guys some magnets as well. And this meter here to measure any type of electricity that was going to be generated. So any current electricity would show up on this device. So the challenge was, can you put this thing together so that you can make this little needle here start to move? Because if it's moving, that means you're creating electricity. So that was the challenge that you guys missed today. Okay, here is our setup. You were spared the pain of trying to put this together, so we've done it for you. And you can see here, we'll call this our really crude generator. And you'll notice that it has some familiar parts here. You can see we've got the two barb magnets set up on either side here. And these are set up so that the poles are opposite to each other. So this would be like the South Pole, this would be the North Pole. So they are actually creating this magnetic field here of attraction. And in the middle, you'll see that we've got this coil of wire around this sort of cylinder here. And you'll notice that this thing can actually move. We can actually spin this thing around. And above that, what also spins around with it, is this sort of metal cylinder here that is attached to this coil of wire. And you can see we've got these, what we can call brushes, that sort of attach themselves to here. And you'll notice that they are then attached to separate leads that then go into this ammeter here. And that it is set to detect small amounts of current. And if it was all hooked up correctly, what they should have noticed is as they were to start spinning this sort of wheel here with the wire wrapped around it. So what I'm hoping you can see is that this is causing this needle to deflect, or at least move. And you can see it's kind of moving in the one direction there. It kind of alternates back and forth, and that's a key word in this as well. But before we even get there, let's just talk about how is this doing it? How is this contraption here, this what we call a really crude generator, creating electricity that then gets detected by this ammeter here? And that is the whole point of this activity. Take a look through your notes, and I can tell you this much. It involves what we have here on this side, and the key components being the magnets, the coil of wire, and the fact that this thing is spinning around. Some of the questions that you'll come across is, well, if I just create a little bit of current electricity by spinning this around, how can I create even more more current electricity? What could I add or change about this setup that would result in more current electricity? The other question is, well, it requires me to spin this. Instead of me spinning it, is there another way that we can get this thing to spin so it's not me constantly having to flick it with my finger? And that is the nice lead into what we were talking about with power generation. So if you can make those leaps, that's basically what this lab was about. The other part about this is that this is really actually a motor. What we've done is we've sort of set this motor up so it is in reverse. Technically speaking, if we were to set this up and connect these not to a meter but actually to, let's say, a battery, we could actually cause this thing to spin and cause it to spin around almost like a motor. And you can see that, well, we're actually going in the other direction where we spin this around and we can create electricity. Flip it the other way, we give it electricity, it will cause this thing to spin. So that's kind of the interesting relationship here between the motor and the generator, and that is, I think, one of the questions towards the end of your lab. So I'm hoping that this helps get you up to speed as to what you may have missed, and yeah, allow you to sort of go back through your notes, take a look at what is written there, and then apply it to what you're seeing here, and that should help you really in trying to answer those questions. Good luck.